In 1986, construction workers in China's Sichuan province were digging when they uncovered artifacts so advanced and mysterious that they forced archaeologists to completely rewrite the history of human civilization. What they found were the remains of Sanxingdui, a sophisticated culture that existed over 3,000 years ago but possessed technology and artistic capabilities that shouldn't have been possible for their time period. The Chinese government has spent decades trying to suppress the full implications of these discoveries, because Sanxingdui represents evidence of a lost civilization that challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient history. The Sanxingdui site is located in what is now Guanghan, about 40 kilometers from Chengdu, but 3,000 years ago it was the heart of a thriving civilization that covered thousands of square kilometers. Unlike other ancient Chinese cultures that developed gradually over centuries, Sanxingdui appears to have emerged suddenly, fully formed with advanced metallurgy, sophisticated art, and mysterious religious practices that have no parallels anywhere else in the world. What makes Sanxingdui truly extraordinary isn't just its age, it's the impossible sophistication of the artifacts that have been discovered there. The site has yielded bronze masks and sculptures that display a level of technical mastery that European civilizations wouldn't achieve for another 1,000 years. These aren't crude ancient artifacts. They're precision-engineered works of art that required advanced knowledge of metallurgy, chemistry, and manufacturing techniques. The most famous discoveries from Sanxingdui are the bronze masks. But calling them masks doesn't do justice to their complexity. These are elaborate sculptural works featuring faces with protruding eyes, some extending over a foot from the face, elaborate headdresses, and intricate decorative elements that required multiple casting techniques to create. The largest of these masks weighs over 180 pounds and stands nearly 5 feet tall. Creating something of this size and complexity in bronze would challenge modern foundries. But the masks are just the beginning of Sanxingdui's mystery. Archaeologists have uncovered a bronze tree that stands nearly 13 feet tall, with branches, leaves, flowers, and birds all cast in perfect detail. This tree required over 3,000 individual components, each precisely crafted and assembled using techniques that metallurgists struggle to understand even today. The level of planning skill and technological knowledge required to create such an object suggests a civilization far more advanced than anything that should have existed in Bronze Age China. Perhaps even more disturbing than the technical sophistication of Sanxingdui artifacts is their completely alien aesthetic. Unlike other ancient Chinese art, which typically depicts recognizable human faces and familiar cultural symbols, Sanxingdui sculptures show faces that don't look entirely human. The eyes are enormous and bulging, the features are elongated and distorted, and the overall appearance is so unusual that some researchers have suggested they might represent encounters with beings from another world. The mystery deepens when you examine the context in which these artifacts were discovered. Rather than being found in tombs or temples where you might expect to find precious objects, the Sanxingdui treasures were buried in sacrificial pits, apparently destroyed deliberately and buried with great ceremony. This suggests that the civilization that created them didn't simply disappear. They actively destroyed their most precious possessions before vanishing from history. The sacrificial pits containing the Sanxingdui artifacts show evidence of intense fires that reach temperatures high enough to melt bronze. But rather than destroying the objects, these fires seem to have been part of an elaborate ritual. Thousands of pieces were carefully broken, burned, and then buried in specific patterns that suggest complex religious or ceremonial significance. It's as if an entire civilization decided to erase itself from existence, destroying all evidence of their achievements before disappearing forever. What makes this even more puzzling is that the Sanxingdui civilization appears to have had no connection to other known Chinese cultures of the same time period. Their artistic style, religious symbols, and technological methods are completely unique, with no evidence of gradual development from earlier cultures or influence on later ones. It's as if they appeared suddenly, flourished for several centuries, then vanished without leaving any trace of their knowledge or influence on subsequent Chinese history. Modern analysis of Sanxingdui artifacts has revealed technological capabilities that challenge our understanding of ancient metallurgy. X-ray examination shows that many objects were created using lost wax casting techniques that weren't supposed to exist in China for another. The bronze alloys used contain precise ratios of copper, tin, and lead that indicate sophisticated understanding of chemistry and material science. Perhaps most mysterious are the gold artifacts found at Sanxingdui, which include incredibly thin gold foil decorations and complex three-dimensional sculpture. Creating these objects would have required techniques for purifying, rolling, and shaping gold that weren't developed in other parts of the world until much later. The precision and delicacy of these gold artifacts suggest a level of craftsmanship that rivals modern jewelry making. The Chinese government's response to Sanxingdui discoveries has been notably cautious and secretive. While they celebrate the site as evidence of China's ancient achievements, they've been reluctant to discuss the full implications of what's been found. Many artifacts discovered at the site have never been publicly displayed, and research papers describing the most unusual finds have been restricted to limited academic circulation. International researchers who have tried to study Sanxingdui artifacts have faced significant obstacles. Access to the site and to many artifacts is strictly controlled, and foreign archaeologists report that their research has been monitored and sometimes terminated without explanation. This suggests that Chinese authorities are aware that Sanxingdui raises questions that go beyond simple archaeological interest. One of the most controversial aspects of Sanxingdui research involves the apparent connections between the site's artifacts and similar objects found in completely different parts of the world. Researchers have noted striking similarities between Sanxingdui bronze masks and artifacts discovered in South America, particularly in Peru and Bolivia. These similarities include identical manufacturing techniques, similar artistic motifs, and comparable levels of technological sophistication. The problem is that these civilizations existed on opposite sides of the world with no known contact between them. If these similarities are real, they suggest either an unknown ancient global civilization or contact between distant cultures that wasn't supposed to be possible. 3,000 years ago, either explanation challenges fundamental assumptions about ancient human history. Recent discoveries at Sanxingdui have only deepened the mystery. In 2019 and 2021, archaeologists uncovered new sacrificial pits containing artifacts that are even more unusual than the original find. These include silk fragments that show evidence of advanced weaving techniques, wooden objects preserved in ways that shouldn't be possible, and bronze artifacts that appear to have been manufactured using techniques that won't be invented for centuries. Most disturbing are reports of artifacts that seem to depict technological devices that shouldn't have existed in the Bronze Age. Some bronze sculptures appear to show mechanical objects, electrical components, or even what look like spacecraft. While official interpretations describe these as religious or ceremonial objects, their resemblance to modern technology is unsettling enough that photographs of some artifacts have been restricted from publication. The Sanxingdui site continues to yield new discoveries, but each find only raises more questions about who built this civilization and where their advanced knowledge came from. Ground-penetrating radar has revealed that only a small portion of the site has been excavated, and there may be dozens of additional sacrificial pits waiting to be discovered. Based on the pattern of finds so far, archaeologists estimate that Sanxingdui may contain artifacts that will revolutionize our understanding of ancient history. Local folklore in the region speaks of the Sanxingdui area as a place where sky people once lived, beings who possessed knowledge of metals and fire that that they shared with humans before returning to the heavens. While archaeologists dismiss these stories as mythology, the advanced technological capabilities demonstrated by Sanxingdui artifacts suggest that the ancient residents of this region did indeed possess knowledge that was far ahead of their time. Today, Sanxingdui represents one of archaeology's greatest unsolved mysteries. The site proves that sophisticated civilizations existed in ancient China that possessed technological capabilities we're only beginning to understand. But more disturbing is what Sanxingdui suggests about the possibility that advanced knowledge has been lost and rediscovered multiple times throughout human history. The bronze faces with their alien features continue to stare out from museum cases, their bulging eyes seeming to hold secrets about humanity's past that we're not ready to understand. Whatever the truth about Sanxingdui, one thing is certain: this ancient civilization achieved things that should have been impossible, then deliberately destroyed all evidence of their achievements before vanishing into history. The mystery of Sanxingdui serves as a reminder that our understanding of human history is far from complete, and that there may be chapters in our past that are more extraordinary and more disturbing than we're prepared to accept.